Hey guys, back again. This time to talk about The Founder, starring Michael Keaton, that came out last year, which flopped at the box office, unfortunately. But this movie, I think, should have gotten more Oscar recognition. I think Michael Keaton in this movie, I think, is fantastic. I think the acting all around in this movie is really fucking good, but Michael Keaton in this movie as Ray Kroc, I thought was amazing, and I thought that the way that he portrayed this sleazy character was really, really good. And I didn't know the story of McDonald's and how it was created and how horrible of a situation these McDonald's brothers actually had to go through and never gained any royalties because of Ray Kroc. And because they wanted their one little restaurant, fast food joint, to be authentic, to have more love over being a franchise and having it being sold everywhere and having it not be as good. And I loved how you see their point of view on the situation, how they want to have this fast food joint like this and give it more love instead of giving it a franchise. And whenever Ray Kroc tricks them into this and eventually fucks them over to a point where they gain no royalties, and Ray Kroc dies a millionaire, and or a billionaire, and he dies with all this money, and the McDonald's brothers get nothing. And I think that the way they build it up in the story, I think, is great. And I didn't know the real truth about what happened with McDonald's until I watched this. I just never looked it up and never was interested. But this movie, just how they go along with it and how the characters, how Ray Kroc is and how much of a sleazy douche he is, and how the McDonald's brothers, and how you see every time he does something more horrible, it gets more heartbreaking for these two guys, these two brothers. And it really works so well with the acting and the pacing and how it builds up to this and builds up to Ray Kroc getting everything and they get nothing. And I just loved this movie, and I loved how these characters were portrayed, because Michael Keaton, I always loved Michael Keaton, but I think that the last couple of years, like Spotlight and Birdman, like, he has done fantastic, even though he's already been a great actor. And The Founder is no exception with his performance. I think his performance really, really sells it as this sleazy douchebag character. And you can still see how he transitions more and more, because at the beginning he's just a salesman who wants to sell milkshakes. But as it goes along and he fucks the brothers over, it really is a cool transition seeing him change from getting worse and worse to the end of the movie. And I thought that it was really, really interesting. It was just an interesting story that had great acting in it. Michael Keaton does fantastic, and then Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch are the brothers, and they do great. And Nick Offerman, I didn't even know that was him because he didn't have a beard, but I didn't even think about it. But I thought they did great, and I really felt for these people. And in real life, if this is completely accurate, it really shows how much of a sleazebag Ray Kroc was, and how they gained nothing through this company, and they couldn't even call it McDonald's, the one place that they started it with. And that to me was heartbreaking, just horrible to see these people go through this situation. And I love seeing how Ray Kroc fucks everybody over. He literally screws over everybody. He screws over Patrick Wilson's character because he takes his wife at the end, Linda Cardellini's character, and how she goes to him. And I loved how you see Ray Kroc just deliberately fuck everybody over, and it's really interesting. But it makes me so mad at the same time. I got furious by the end of this movie, but not in a way that this movie is bad. Not at all. This movie is fantastic, but it made me mad in a sense that this character is such a sleazebag, and this really happened. So it really made me furious, but it made me furious because of the amazing acting, because Michael Keaton does a fantastic job here. I think he does so well in this movie. He really does a great job. And like I said, Nick Offerman and John Carroll Lynch are great, and Linda Cardellini's great, and Patrick Wilson's great, and Laura Dern and B.J. Novak are in this too, but they're not in it as much. And like how also Ray Kroc fucks over his wife too. He divorces her because she wants a quiet life in Illinois, and he liked that at first, but then he wanted more, and he just kept pushing and pushing for more, and he fucked her over as well. So he fucks over everybody in this movie, and it really is an interesting just way of showing this character becoming more and more of a dick as he goes along. And it's just so sad to see that this is a real life situation. So these brothers never got anything. The wife got a divorce from her husband that she loved, but then he just kicked her out the door basically. And then Patrick Wilson's character, his wife was gone, and now she's with Ray now. So it's just an interesting way to show this character and how much of a horrible person he was. But it works so well with just the acting and the pacing. The story is paced so well, and it builds so well, because I didn't realize that that's how it would end, that they would literally get nothing. I thought there'd be something that would give them leverage and give them a way to earn money. But nope, they never did. They earned nothing. They gained nothing from this situation, and it really is heartbreaking and sad. And that's why I think it's one of my favorite movies of the year, because of the acting and how the story builds up to this situation, and it doesn't have a happy ending, and it works so well with everything they've done in the movie. But overall, it's one of my favorite movies of last year, definitely. It's like in my top 20, I think, because there are so many great movies from last year, but I loved it. I thought it was so great, and I think everybody should see it, because this is like a movie like Jackie, where that didn't people don't even know that that exists really, unless you are a person who actively goes and watches movies that are more obscure, because it's not a blockbuster or a Hollywood movie. It's not something that is something that everybody will just automatically see, because these are movies that I think are better in a sense than most Hollywood movies. And I think it's such a shame that these get failures in terms of box office because of that. Even though I love Hollywood movies too, but I feel like it's such a disservice to these kind of movies that fail in their better acted and better story, and it really makes me so sad. But go ahead and see this movie. Go ahead and see it. It's such a good movie, and I think that Michael Keaton is at one of his best roles in this movie. He's so great in this movie, and I really, really highly want everybody to go see this movie. So thanks for watching so much. Go see The Founder, and I'll talk to you guys later.